Chances are, if you're watching this, you want to build a bar. Chances are, if you're watching this, you already have a tiki bar. It's probably better than this little stand-up shack in the backyard that could blow over at any moment. If you're thinking about putting in the work, or if you already have put in the work, it makes no sense to stop at the decor. A tiki bar is only as good as its drinks. Do you aspire to serve more than simply Sailor Jerry's mixed with pineapple juice? Today I'm breaking down the top 10 bottles you will need to begin your serious journey into tiki cocktails with historically accurate flavor profiles. If you want to truly transport your guests back to the heyday of tiki in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you're going to need to serve them the proper drinks with the proper flavor profiles. And trust me, they're going to notice, because with these bottles, you're going to make them a drink that they've likely never had anything even close to. And that's the fun. That is over half of the magic of tiki. All the decor is nice and fun, but your drinks can't hide behind that. Your drinks need to speak for themselves. If I had to choose between drinking a vodka and Red Bull here at my beautiful bar versus drinking a proper jet pilot out in the back of a Dunkin' Donuts by the dumpster, I'm going with that one. So here are the top 10 bottles I recommend for starting your home tiki bar off on the right foot. But first, I don't know what to do with my hands. Let's make a drink. Today we're gonna be making a super simple cocktail that I can just sip on while talking to you guys about my favorite bottles, and it's gonna be the Caparinia. We're not going to use any of the bottles that I talk about on this list for this drink. We're going to be using Nova Fogo Silver Cachaça. This is the #1 drink in all of Brazil, and to me, it tastes like summer in a glass. I was thinking maybe I'd do a tea punch in this video to sip on with the rum agricole that I will recommend later, but it's way too hot for a drink without ice. So let's get into making a Caparinia, and then let's get into the top 10 rums you're going to need for your beautiful home tiki bar. Start by taking a whole lime and cutting it into wedges, and cut those wedges in half. Now get those lime pieces into the glass. Then take 2 bar spoons of granulated sugar and dump them right into the glass. Next, take your muddler and muddle your lime and sugar. Then pour 2 ounces of silver cachaça into your jigger, and then pour that right into the glass. Give that a stir or a swizzle, and then fill to the top with pebble ice. And through the power of quick editing, here is our beautiful Caparinia. Summer in a glass, so good. All right, now that we got our drink made, let me introduce the first bottle of rum I want you to buy for your home tiki bar. That rum is going to be Plantation Jamaican Xaymaca Special Dry. Now, this is a 100% pot stilled rum, which means a few things. It means you're gonna get funk with this rum. You're gonna get no back down funk. You're getting ripe bananas. You know what? Let me smell. Double check. Oh yeah. You're getting bananas, you're getting baking spices, you're getting rotten fruit. And that's gonna come with any rum that is 100% pot stilled. A pot still is essentially a big pot looking still, and any rum that is distilled in that is going to have these more funky flavors. You might hear in the world of tiki the term funk, and that really just means burnt sugar, over-ripened banana, molasses, funk, baking spices for sure. Why do I recommend the 100% pot still Jamaican style rum? Because you want to go for flavor. You want to go for big, bold flavor. Now, some people say, oh, don't start off with 100% pot still. It's going to turn off your audience, or you're not ready for it. I believe in you. I believe you're ready. I believe your guests are ready for something beautiful, something magical, something they have never had before. Most people will say, start them off with Appleton Reserve. Appleton Reserve is a great alternative to this, kind of. It is still a blend of pot still and column still. Column still is a little more mellow. I always describe Appleton Reserve as kind of level 1 on the funk scale, but I figure if you're only getting 10 bottles, you might as well get one of them that is the real deal, full funk. And for me, my choice is Xaymaca Special Dry. Let's get a little tiny, little taste here. Overripe banana, tropical. I'm picturing the palms. Oh yeah. You want this in a Mai Tai. I love this rum in a rum runner, actually. make that. I'm gonna put the recipe to the Rum Runner in the description, along with like 10 other really good recipes that you can use for all these. My number 2 rum that I recommend for your home tiki bar is a Puerto Rican rum. For me, that Puerto Rican rum is going to be classic Bacardi 8. And the back of the bottle says, aged for a full 8 years under the Caribbean sun and crafted for a refined flavor, warming notes of wood, apricot, nutmeg, and butterscotch. Excellent neat or in an old-fashioned or in a zombie. A lot of cocktails will call for a blend of Jamaican and Puerto Rican style rum. So I figure, hey, why not just get a full pot still Jamaican and then a full column still Puerto Rican? Because then you can kind of mix and blend your own. You don't need to get Appleton just to start off, because that's already a blend of the column and the pot still. Might as well get the big full flavored stuff and then make your own mixes. What do we get here? So much caramel, a little bit pineapple. The vanilla is there. This was aged in wooden barrels, so the oak is there. Puerto Rican gold rum really just gives you a nice dry backbone that balances out all the flavors. A total polar opposite to that funk that you're gonna get from the Xaymaca Special Dry. I think it's just a really good contrasting rum to put with the Xaymaca. It's also a good standalone rum if you wanna make more simple cocktails. I'm sure this would do great in a daiquiri. Let's give it a taste. Crispy, light. I don't even know if I've ever tasted that on its own before, but that holds up, that's good. Number 3 is Dorley's 8. This is a Barbados rum, and this is actually a blend of pot still and column still rum. And yeah, right off the bat, you're getting those very rich caramely notes that you would get from the Bacardi 8. You're also getting the slightest hint of tropical funk from a pot still rum. Why? Because it's a blend. So let's try this, and then let's mix these two and see how the flavors are differentiated. Caramely banana. Not so much overripe banana like pot still, but I believe that banana flavor just does come from it being blended a little bit more. If I had to guess, I would say Dorley's is a little bit more on the column still side. All right, so since the Dorley's seems to be a little bit less pot still and a little more column still, we're gonna pour just a little bit of that, and we're gonna make our own blend right here live on the show. First time ever. We're gonna pour a tiny bit more of that there. With these 2 bottles, you can make infinite blends. We have effectively made something here that is akin to Appleton Reserve. So this is, even though I put more of the Bacardi 8 than I did the pot still here was 100%. It's so strong, it comes through in such a way that you get it on the forefront, and then the column still kind of mellows it out at the end. And that's kind of what Appleton Reserve does for me. The Dorley's, however, is a bit more nuanced in the pot still flavor on the initial nose or just the taste of it. You get a little bit of a air of funk on the back end with the Dorley's. I think it's a good one to have just because you can experiment like this. You know, you can take a blended age and you can put it up against your own mixes. So this really helps you learn more about rum. And also Foursquare Distillery is who makes Dorley's, and they are a super great distillery and they always make a quality product. So I would say get the Dorley's as my number 3. Plus there's parrots on the freaking bottle, dude. That's like not really tiki, but it's tropical and it's fun. A cool thing is we are only 3 rums in, and we already have a Jamaican, a Puerto Rican, and a Barbados. So we're already expanding our rum collection. Even if you only have these 3 rums, you have a respectable collection. Bottle number 4 is going to be Hamilton 87 White Stash. This is, for lack of a better term, a white rum. You could substitute other white rums for Hamilton White Stash. Technically, this is a blended, lightly aged rum, and substitutes for this can include Hamilton Breezeway Blend and Planter'S 3-Star. These are the rums you want to traditionally use in your daiquiris, in missionaries' downfalls, and other drinks that call for a light or white rum. This rum is not flavored, but Ed Hamilton does say it has a little bit of notes of sweet coconut and tropical fruit flavors, and it is a carbon filtered, light bodied rum. I do get a little bit of that coconut and a little bit of a passion fruit. Super clean. Reminds me of Bacardi 8 in that way, in the throat feel. Mix that with some lime and some sugar, you got a perfect daiquiri. This white rum is a high character blend rum. It is another full flavored choice. That's kind of what I'm going with here. All the other, you know, cocktail gurus kind of tell you to go with the lighter flavors and the things that are more approachable. But this is kind of for people who want to dive straight in and kind of go for the more serious and nostalgic flavors that are essential to Tiki and its culture. So that's why I'm recommending Hamilton 87 for my number 4 bottle choice for your home Tiki bar. Palate cleanse. When it gets diluted like this and the ice just melts like so much into it, it just tastes like a limeade. Amazing drink. Brazil, good job. Number 5 brings us to the category of Guyana rums, Demerara rums. This is Hamilton 86. This style of rum is a black blended rum. It is the most brown sugar, molasses, caramely style rum that still has a little bit of Caribbean flair to it that you can get. So blended from carefully selected rums, distilled and aged up to 5 years in Guyana, then bottled in the US without adding sugar or other sweetener. The rich, dark fruit, spice, smoky wood and tobacco notes in this rum add a rich flavor to cocktails and tiki drinks, famously known for the Demerara Dry Float. That's probably a drink we'll make on the channel soon. The Bacardi 8 is like a hot, crispy caramel, if that makes any sense. This is like the deepest type of caramel. I just want to revert to saying brown sugar, which makes sense because Demerara, like turbinado style sugar, is also made and cultivated on the banks of the Demerara River. I don't know what it is about that river, man. It makes everything super sweet. Substitutes for specifically Hamilton 86, you can also do Planter'S overproof Demerara, or you could do Eldorado 8, which is another good Demerara rum. Speaking of overproof, number 6 on my list is gonna have to be Lemon Heart & Son 151 overproof rum. So many Don the Beachcomber cocktails call for 151, whether that's the COBRA'S FANG, the Zombie, Lemon Heart 151 mixed with cinnamon syrup, mixed with Bacardi 8, mixed with a little bit of Jamaican pot still, and you got like 70% of what Don the Beachcomber's rum heavy drinks were. Tiny dash, tiny dash. This stuff is dangerous. This stuff is flammable. If you light tiki drinks on fire, this is usually what you do it with, or lemon extract if you really want some big flames, but that's another story. Yep, I was expecting heat, and that's what I got. It is hot, my mouth is on fire. Would not recommend sipping that neat. I don't think I've ever done that either. Chaser. But yeah, this is a very important rum to Tiki history and culture. Also, Hamilton has a 151 proof rum that you could substitute this for. Some of Don the Beachcomber's cocktails call for like 1.5 ounces of this and no other rums like the COBRA'S FANG. So play with this at your own will, at your own mercy. This stuff can mess you up. But nevertheless, it is still an essential piece of your Tiki puzzle. The 7th bottle that I'll recommend is John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum. If you have even a little bit of an inkling that you're going to want to make the 1930s and 40s style drinks that Don the Beachcomber made, you're going to need some Velvet Falernum. This is a liqueur. Finally, thank God, we're getting away from the super overproof Lemon Heart. And it's a liqueur developed in Barbados in the 18th century. It was first made by blending rum, sugar, lime juice, and certain spices on the sugar estate. There's also another thing I've never done before. We're gonna taste some Falernum just on its own. Okay, so first impressions. This is like, well, not first impressions. I've had this a million times. I've never had it straight though. Having it straight is kind of like having a concentrated daiquiri. Lime in the front, and then you get a nice clove, herbal kind of spice towards the end. It's really, really good. Damn, that is good on its own. I would have never suspected that. It's got to be very sugary. And you can also get Falernum in syrups. You can get non-alcoholic Falernum, which is just like a syrup that you can also use. This is one of the more mild Falernums, which makes a lot of sense to me now that I'm tasting it straight, because I really get like 80% lime and sugar. And then at the end, I get a little bit of that clove, a little bit of that herbaceous kind of feel. I would suspect, I've never tried any of the like B.G. Reynolds Falernum or any type of Falernum syrups, but from what other people say, that's a lot more like clovey, a lot more herbaceous. I love all the drinks that I make with this, so it's good enough for me. One day I will try a stronger Falernum, not stronger in alcohol, but stronger in like the herbal flavors, and you know, we'll see how I like it. But for now, this is a great start. And this is just one of Don's classic tiki spices that you're gonna wanna have at your home bar. Speaking of classic tiki spices, next up is St. Elizabeth Allspice Dram. This stuff is earthy, it's warm, it's unmistakably Caribbean. It will transport you instantly to the tropics. It smells like Christmas Eve at 3 in the morning when you're supposed to be in bed and you're 8 years old, but you go downstairs anyway, and you wait for Santa to come down the chimney, and you wait there from 3 to 8 in the morning, and he doesn't show up. And then your parents come downstairs and say, well, Santa didn't come because you ruined it. You waited down there all night long and you weren't asleep, so you're on the naughty list. That's what this smells like. It smells like core Christmas memories. This stuff is used in small doses. On the Beachcomber style recipes, teaspoon, half a teaspoon, couple drops, 0.25 ounces in like a Planter's punch. I don't want to taste it straight. It smells amazing, but ooh, this is gonna be rough. Yeah. I'm not wincing because of the alcohol. I don't even think there's a lot in here. What is this? It's a liqueur. It's 22.5%, but whew, that allspice berry, which is a real berry that was named allspice berry because it seems to encapsulate all the spices like cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, but it's its own berry. So it's not as though they just put all the spices in this bottle. They made this from allspice berries. This is essential because you will find this in the old 30s and 40s recipes. That's why it's on this list. And I really enjoy it when it's mixed in a cocktail. I think it actually brings out a lot of the really good qualities of rums. Bottle number 9, we're back to foolproof rum. This is Clement Rum, Martinique, AOC, Agricole. Smells like green grass in the best way possible. Don't be scared. It's amazing. It's slightly comparable to what I have in my glass here, the cachaça, but this is way stronger of a herbal note, super grassy. It is distilled from sugarcane instead of molasses. Molasses is more your traditional rum. To be a agricole rum, it needs to be distilled from sugarcane in a very specific way to be called agricole. I almost made a drink with this. I almost made the tea punch, made a Caparinia instead, but let's give this a little sampling. Is it for more of a nuance palate? Perhaps. If you've only ever had Sailor Jerry and Bacardi Superior, is this gonna be even quantifiable to you as rum? No. But that's why it is so fun and so essential to go out and get these styles of rums and make the cocktails that call for it, because you're gonna experience something otherworldly. And why else do you build a tiki bar if not to fully escape, fully experience something new, get out of your comfort zone, feel like you're in a little bit of danger, but a little bit of comfort, that perfect mix. That's what this rum brings to the table. Try a tea punch with it. Try a 3 dots and a dash with it. There's so many rum agricole recipes out there that you can impress your guests with, or just yourself. So you're worth it. Go out, get a bottle of rum agricole, and thank me later. Bottle number 10 is going to be Absinthe, or Pernod, or Herb Saint. This right here is kind of the imposter's absinthe. It's just the only full bottle that I had. I have a tiny bottle of absinthe that I really prefer using. It's got genuine wormwood in it, which is one that I would honestly recommend, but this one's a bright, pretty green color. We're just gonna use it for the channel's sake. So yes, this one is not made with wormwood. I'm sure there's added sugars in this one. This is really not a great example, but if you want the absinthe flavor that a lot of the Don the Beachcomber cocktails call for, this will do. I think this was a relatively cheap bottle of Absinthe. So if you want to go to Total Wine and grab this bottle and use a couple drops of it in your zombie, it will definitely suffice. It will bring you that anise flavor that adds a little bit of mystery and a little bit of herbaceousness to a cocktail that really would be all about the rums. But then at the end, you get this little, oh, what is that flavor? And it's absinthe. That's what it is. Let's swirl this green liquid. Yep, all the notes, just black licorice, anise. Let's just do it all in one go. This is a 100 proof bottle. Most absinthes are going to be really high in proof. I believe my small bottle that I just showed you guys is 110 proof, and that one is really made with genuine wormwood, and you can taste the difference. That one's a little bit hotter and a little less sweet tasting than this one. That one's also clear. This one's got this funky color to it, which really is an eye catcher. Ultimately, if you're trying to please people, if you're trying to wow your guests, you might want the bright green absinthe over the genuine wormwood clear absinthe. Up to you. But you know, half of being a bartender and half of having a fun space like this is the show. So that's something to consider. Absinthe is a 100% necessary ingredient in Tiki. You can make things like the Zombie, the Jet Pilot, the Dr. Funk, which is a very historic cocktail, which goes in this mug right here, actually. And people will be like, what the heck? I've never had a drink like this. Some people will say it's gross and some people will love it. But yeah, absinthe is fun, man. And you get to tell the little story that like absinthe was illegal for a little bit, and then it came back around like 2007, 2008. And, you know, there were rumors of people hallucinating on absinthe. So, you know, if someone has a drink or two and then you go, oh, you know what you really need? You need a drink with absinthe in it. You need the Dr. Funk, and you're going to start seeing shit, buddy. So absinthe is my number 10 recommendation for your home tiki bar. Man, I just talked a lot. Now, the reason I made this video instead of like the top 10 things you need for your tiki bar is because you guys are smart. You can figure it out. You know you need citrus. You know you need orgeat. You need grenadine, passion fruit syrup. You need honey mix. You need Demerara syrup. Tiki is full of ingredients, but I really just wanted to stick with what alcohols you should get to really make a big selection of drinks. Once again, I'm going to throw a bunch of recipes down in the description that you can make with all these bottles. Some honorable mentions: orange curacao, you need that for a Mai Tai. Creme de banane, one of my favorite bottles. I didn't put it on this list because, you know, banana drinks aren't really essential and they weren't really super core tiki back in the 30s and 40s. To me, I do like to make a lot of riffs on those older drinks with creme de banane in it. Things like Chambord, creme de cassis, all these different flavored things. Peach liqueur, apricot liqueur. So like peach liqueur, you make Missionary's Downfall. Apricot liqueur, you make Trade Winds with. All those types of bottles you can get into a little bit later on, or maybe you already have those bottles. You just wanted to see what my recommendations were for like the core flavors of tiki. Go make yourself a Caparinia this summer. It is a super good drink. It is literally like a lemonade. Let me know down below what your top 10 bottles would be for someone starting out in tiki or someone who wants to refine their flavors a little bit more. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time on the show, guys. Mahalo.